everyone, this is Greyshot117 bringing a review of the Cloverfield Paradox movie released on Netflix on Super Bowl night that I've been waiting for my brother to watch, but he's like, I'll get to it, and now I'm just like, I'm gonna do the review if you're not gonna actually watch it. That's actually probably, in hindsight, probably the main, idea behind this film, at least reception-wise, because while the initial reception to the trailer was like, wait, what? Like, the trailer, the whole announcement process for this movie was fantastic. The movie itself is not so. It's the most expensive Cloverfield movie, reaching about $45 million in total budget, and was bought, I believe, for $50 million by Netflix, released literally on Super Bowl night. The movie tagline was going to show you, essentially, what caused the Cloverfield and what happened that night. What's the cause of it? So, what caused it? Well, this movie is... well, for those who don't know, Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane and Cloverfield Paradox are all somewhat connected, but loosely, very loosely. Mostly because 10 Cloverfield Lane, this movie where reshoots occurred and they inserted it. And the reason I bring that up is because you can generally see how much they like the original movie and what they changed into it. Now, that being said, what is the movie about? Well, essentially, there's an energy crisis on Earth, and a team of pretty much astronauts, scientists, etc. are on the space station, the Cloverfield station, and they're trying to test a energy weapon, not a weapon, but an energy process, so that way they can hopefully get energy enough to pretty much power the Earth, and that way they don't have to worry about the energy crisis currently going on. Because in the beginning of the movie, you see oil prices are extremely high, there's rolling blackouts, etc., and there's a lot of tension with other nations. Now, I think this movie is all set in 2028, which is far more in the future than other Cloverfield movies. With Cloverfield, was it 2008, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane, 2016. So if they're all connected, how does that make sense? Well, once again, they test fire it, and this group realizes that, where are we? Because Earth is no longer in their vicinity. Nothing's there. So they think they destroyed the Earth and everything around them, and bent space-time with their particle accelerator. So right now they're trying to figure out what's going on, and while this is going on, all sorts of spooky stuff is going around the space station. Now, here's the thing. I have to come at this as two angles, as a movie angle and a Cloverfield movie angle. And the reason I do that is very hard to, because the Cloverfield fans will decipher everything with Cloverfield, and I'm being completely honest. It's why this small franchise, and I say small because basically they only make a couple, $100 to $200 million, maybe $3 max with the other Cloverfield movie. They don't make a ton of money. But that being said, the first Cloverfield cost $25 million, the second one cost $15, this one cost $45. So generally they make their money back. Now, Paramount kept reshooting this thing a million times because originally had a budget around, I think, 10 to 15. And just kept blowing up. So, yeah, I think this is Paramount's fault for kind of wasting money. Which, man, it's like Paramount wasting money. How could that be possible? Oh, wait, didn't they do monster trucks and release Transformers with a gigantic budget and all those other things and didn't really make as much as it used to? Yeah, if you don't know, Paramount's in a really dicey situation, which is why they probably sold it to Netflix to be like, okay, do something with this because it's not going to be profitable for us. And to be fair, if I wanted to go into a movie theater and see this film, I would have been kind of iffy on it, to be completely honest. Now, that being said, the acting in this is actually pretty good. I would say it's passable with one major exception, which is, I'm going to mess up this name, Gugi Bathara, which plays Ava Hamilton. Her performance, actually, her arc is probably the only one stable. And while there is... while the other crew, I do like probably the first 45 minutes of this film, where you do get to learn about them, and the mysterious stuff is happening on this spacecraft, similar to Event Horizon or something along those lines, just PG-13. My problem is you get a lot of cool things, but you don't get explanation on why. And I wish you went more into all these side characters a lot more, because really it's just surface level. Although they do have some nice twists and turns that go out through the movie. I just wish that they would have done it better. That being said, these characters, this film is being compared a lot to Life and Alien Covenant and Event Horizon as well. And this is what I have to say. Alien Covenant is probably a better stylistically looking film. And except for one actor, I would say, in Alien Covenant, which would be the David character, everyone, Michael Fassbender, everyone else, the acting in here is either on par or better. Flip side, Life, and also I think the story in this is better than Alien Covenant. At least it throws twists, and even though you're asking why, they're not making stupid decisions. At least these scientists are making reasonable decisions. And then Life, I like the first, probably, once again, Alien Covenant's first 20 minutes. Life is the first 45 to 50 minutes, and right up until the second death. Then it becomes a schlocky horror film with not much reasoning and just goes into insanity, which this film does, but it doesn't go as far down as Life. So that, at least that's my perspective. It's better than those two, even though a lot of people are like, this is a terrible movie. I'm like, did you see Alien Covenant or Life? I'm just making sure. We saw both the same film, right? Anyway, so yeah, Life's... If people are going to compare it to that, you also have to compare the benefits and the weaknesses. The effects in this are fine. They're fine. Just like Life, where the effects in that were fine. Yes, people say it's like, oh, it's not as good as Black Mirror. I'm like, I watch Black Mirror. It's a TV show. It doesn't... The effects of that don't exactly hold up as well as a movie. And this movie actually has some good sequences, like the arm effect and whatnot. Once again, I wish they would explain a bit more. But overall, I still find it interesting and fascinating. The connections to Cloverfield are there, though they feel ham-fisted, and they don't feel as fluid as 10 Cloverfield Lane, which caused some story issues and pacing issues. There are moments where I'm just like, okay, what's going on in terms of like who's the main villain, what is the main villain, and they kind of tell you that rather than showing you. And I would rather, once again, have them show not tell in this situation. This is where this movie falls into that trap. But to digress, not digress further, the side plot with Hamilton's husband is also kind of forced. You can definitely tell they're two different like filming styles, with the one on Earth and the one in space. The one in space actually looks pretty good. I like the costume design, and I do like the overall space aesthetic, and the whole spaceship itself is actually really well designed. I did like that with the whole spinning rotation thing. And finally, do I feel like, and the main character Hamilton does have an arc, and I like her arc. She has a good, stable arc. It's not amazing, it's not terrible, it's just good. It's just a good arc, and everyone else is just there to be there. And I feel like some characters are probably underused, like Axel Henny as the Russian engineer. I feel like they could have done a lot more with that character because he had such good potential, and it's just like they kind of wasted a lot of these actors in themselves, like Daniel Brew or John Ortez. A lot of these people are really, really good. But again, it's just like I wish you would get more of them, a little bit more time. And once again, I feel like some of them get removed from the plot or the story, not because the story needed to. It didn't fit as well into the story as someone being killed off, rather than we need to kill this character, if that makes sense. It wasn't a nice like, oh, this character did this to move the plot forward. They just had to die. We just need to kill people right now, which kind of sucks. That being said, for all the negative reviews this movie is getting, and some of the positive reviews, I have to judge this accordingly with how it is in a normal movie and how it stacks up with Cloverfield. So this is the weakest Cloverfield movie by far, but I still say it's a average sci-fi film, which is why I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It's a 5 out of 10 film, average. Basically that. Characters are average. Effects are average. There's one good character moment. The story is complete, while it does have some side things to what's going on in the Cloverfield universe. If you're a Cloverfield fan, I personally would give it, for a fan, a 6 out of 10. But I'm still, for the average viewer, I'm going to give it a 5. Because while they do explain a bit more in this movie of what's going on in Cloverfield, it doesn't give a definitive answer. And it's very hard to also connect the other films to this. They do apparently have a 4th film coming out at the end of the year called Overlord, but we'll see how well that goes. But in any case, let's get to spoilers. A few things. Again, just basically, yeah, it turns out the person they find in the wall who is not supposed to be there, yeah, she turns out to be the villain. Because, once again, they actually find out they're in an alternate universe. Once again, which is why I was being very cautious about that. And she's like, well, I can take this space station, which has the design for energy, which you guys perfected, back to my world, which is now at war. So I do like that aspect of but I wish they would have just kind of had more character with her, because she seems like more of a stereotypical villain. And the final action sequence, it could have been done better. They have all this set up with the arm and everything else scattered about, but they don't use it. And I feel like that would have been better. Like I said, they do stuff, but they don't pay off it. And I feel like that's a major issue with this film. That being said, it's not terrible. It's not as bad as Alien Covenant or Life, in my opinion. If Alien Covenant I gave like a 3 to, and like Life I gave a 4, this would probably be a 5, again a 5, which is just one step further. And it's not, I'm not saying that because of the fact that, oh, you're a Cloverfield fan. No, I'm actually like Alien, and Life had a lot of potential. But that being said, again, I just feel like this movie is just average. It's just an average film. The Cloverfield references with the crazy, I don't want to say crazy, but the brother of the crazy guy from 10 Cloverfield Lane kind of explaining like, yeah, if you do this, you're going to mess stuff up. That was interesting. And I did like some other concepts, but overall, they have some like little Easter eggs more so to Cloverfield, and the what happens kind of like you have to watch other films that kind of connect it. But once again, you'll go down the rabbit hole trying to connect this film because it is very hard to connect to the other Cloverfield films and how it exactly goes across. But that being said, I did like this film personally. But that being said, I have to judge it for what it has, and I have to give it a 5 out of 10 because it is average. Because there's not too much to spoil other than people dying in interesting ways, but it's like, how did that happen? How did the wall just suck this man in? How did she end up in the wall? How did the arm come off, etc.? A lot of stuff with walls in this film. But in any case, that's going to be it for this review. I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tune next time for another major movie review. But this has been Greyshot17 without 151, who should have watched in the first place. And I'll see you guys next time. Before this video ends, I want to give a special shout out to my Patreon supporters like Ace, Leo, Tim, Sean, Sejones, and Nick. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support, and I'll see you next time, guys.